Senator Patricia Torres Ray originally was elected in 2006, began service in the Senate in 2007, has served the Senate for 16 years. Total Senate and legislative days, 5,619 days. It's my honor to present Senator Patricia Torres Ray.
Thank you, members. It is truly an honor to be here. And I agree with Senator Newman. We need to do this at the beginning. I feel so many emotions right now, so many memories. Thank you for the honor of serving with you. To my constituents, thank you for trusting me with the responsibility of being your voice here. Sometimes I hear members say, I really don't want to do this. This is not what I think, but I have to vote this way. I have to vote my constituents. I have had the honor to represent constituents and a community that fundamentally shares my values. And I am so grateful for that, because I never had to pretend to be someone other than myself. To my husband and my boys, I love you, and I thank you for supporting me and loving me each and every day. My boys grew up to be amazing young men because they had the privilege to be part of the Senate family for 16 years. They understand what it means to serve in office. They know that it is hard work and sacrifice. They know what government is, and they know how government is so important in people's lives. I am most grateful for that. To the people that have worked in my office, to my amazing legislative assistants who were very inexperienced when they came here, and when they left, they were hired to do very important jobs because they were so smart and learned so fast to do this work. And they loved being here. Thank you. Thank you for your service. To the volunteers, to the people who have supported me over the years, I couldn't have done this work without you. To Adriana Santa Cruz, who gave this sarape to my family so that I can wear it here. When I was elected, they celebrated in Colombia, and she thought very carefully about what I should wear to go to Colombia. So she put together this with indigenous women from the Andean Cordillera, where I come from. And she decided that the colors needed to be the purple of inclusion, the blue of my political party, the color that I love, black, and white for peace in Colombia. We have been in a civil war for 45 years. When I was elected in 2006, people talk about my election to the Senate as being remarkable. I was the first Latina immigrant elected to the Senate, and people were awed by my election. I had arrived to this country 20 years earlier, and I couldn't speak a word of English when I arrived. I was considered a complete outsider in political terms. However, I believe that my story and the circumstances that helped me get here were actually not that exceptional. It is true that I had to work hard to accomplish what I had accomplished. I worked in very demanding jobs like printing bottles in a factory while I was going to school. I went to law school in Colombia, but when I got here, I was told that I had to start all over again to get to college. And not being able to speak English was a great barrier. But I had an opportunity. Attending school in Minnesota was easy when I got here. I completed my ESL training in a free public academy. And later, I went to the University of Minnesota. I completed my undergraduate degree and my master's degree. And when I finished school, I didn't have any debt. I don't consider those opportunities extraordinary. I don't consider those circumstances remarkable. Actually, I think they are very ordinary opportunities that are afforded to most middle-class Minnesotans, but they are almost unattainable for most low-income people of color and immigrants who are poor in this state. These opportunities transformed my life. I am here as the first Latina elected to the Minnesota Senate because I was afforded those opportunities 30 years ago. Today, as I leave the Senate, I wanted to share a little bit of my story because I hope that you remember me. I hope that you will use your vote, your voice, your power to afford better opportunities for people of color and immigrant people. You have the power to transform the lives of people. People like me who had so little when I came here. And I faced so many barriers. These opportunities have contributed to my individual success and the collective success of my community, the success of this state, and the success of this country. I own a home. I have children who are educated and successful. I have never had to apply for public assistance in this country. But I had access to public college, affordable housing, food security, and health care. Resources that all Minnesotans, that all people deserve. My individual success is part of the collective success of America. Collective success is enduring. Collective success is joyful. Collective success is powerful. You have the power to create collective success here. When you push these buttons and you give an opportunity to a person like me to have a safe home, to be able to go to college, to be able to have a job that allow her to live with dignity. Please, please, be a voice for people who often don't have a voice here. Please be the voice for the poor, those who can't be here to ask, the marginalized, those who don't have the ability to communicate in your language, those who can't not share their story in public because it is too painful. And those who have been intentionally harmed by many policies that started here in this room, like the descendants of slaves and indigenous people. In this country, we have always believed that it is possible to start at the bottom to raise to the top. And some of us have done it. But it can't be done without our collective effort. You have the power and the opportunity to make a big difference in people's lives. The inequalities that exist in this state are shameful. You know what to do to eliminate these inequalities. Please, help create individual and collective success. Be bold. Be the leader that creates joy and opportunity. We need this leader in America more than ever. Thank you.
Members, we have 5 additional remaining individuals to speak with a collective experience of 96 years here in the Senate.